Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Destiny. If you're not new here, it's so nice to have you back. Really appreciate you guys coming back. This is our second episode in the pregnancy series and I'm so excited. I was kind of struggling on which pregnancy video I wanted to film, but we are going with the trimester one, as you can see by the title, because I haven't done any first or second trimester videos at all, so I thought maybe I should do that first. If you're new and would like to follow me on social media, my social media will be here on the right and my other social medias will be linked down below in the description box. Like I said, today's video we are doing a first and second trimester update, what symptoms I went through and what events happened in those trimesters. I did plan a little bit for this video because it happened such a long time ago. Like, I'm in my third trimester and that starts when you're 28 weeks I think. I'm 32, so it was quite a few weeks ago that I was in my first and second trimester, so I wrote down some notes on my phone so I don't forget what I need to say. I've got it all here, like I wrote all my notes down. This all comes from my blog, so when my blog comes out you guys can read. So there's a visual and there's also a reading section that you can do on my trimester update. We will start with the first trimester. I think I will begin with what happens during this trimester. What happens is baby changes from a fertilized cell into an embryo, and the first trimester lasts from week 1, which is the end of your last period, to week 11 or 12. What happens in the first trimester with baby, in week 5 to 8 skin forms, in week 5 tube that will turn into baby's heart begins to beat, week 6 arms, legs, hands and feet start forming, week 8 intestines are forming, and week 10 fingers and toes are forming. Your baby's pretty much forming already, like it's already creating its human self, and it's so crazy. Like, it can start from a cell and go to an embryo. That just crazes me out. But anyways, I think I'll start with my symptoms. Thinking back to the first trimester, like while I was in my trimester, I didn't really think that I had any symptoms at the time because it just didn't really click to me like as a symptom. But now I've researched symptoms on what symptoms you normally have in the first trimester, and I did have some of those symptoms. My first symptom I had is being emotional. Your hormones are literally increasing and doubling as time goes by, and being a teenager I was just so sad. I was crying, worried, angry, stressed. Yeah, it was like not a fun time. And then having to tell your parents and family that you're pregnant at 17, that made it even more emotionally hard, because at the start my parents took a while to get used to it, and maybe took them like a couple of weeks to finally get their head around it, which is understandable, but that made it more harder with your family not really, what's the word, being supportive at those first few weeks when you first find out, because I feel like that's when you're most emotional. I was always crying, like for no reason. I would just cry and I was just so emotional. Yeah, literally crying for no reason at all the time. Sometimes I had reasons, but mostly I didn't. I was just crying for no reason. The next symptom I had was fatigue. I didn't actually realize that this was a symptom, but I was so tired all the time. I was constantly sleeping all the time. Like, I felt so lazy, but I couldn't help it. I would sleep all night and then still feel tired when I woke up. I guess that's what happens when you're growing a baby. The next one I had was cravings. The only craving that I can remember is ice blocks, and this one time I told Jessie, I was like, okay, I've got this craving of ice blocks and you want to go get it, and I got so angry. I got my brother to pick me up. We went to the supermarket, we got the ice blocks. We got like the 20 pack of popsicles, I think that's what they're called, and I didn't come back for that night because I was so grumpy that Jessie didn't go down and get me ice blocks. Like, my tummy really needed it, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh, what is this feeling? Like, I actually really needed it. I probably didn't, but my tummy needed it. And then once I had it, oh, it was so good. I ate like 4 in a row. Cravings are actually a serious thing. Like, what the heck? My next symptom that I had was the skin. It runs in my genes to have eczema. I didn't really get it that much before I was pregnant. I got maybe a little bit, but not as bad as I had through my first trimester of pregnancy. I don't know what eczema I had, but it was all over my face. It was under my eyes, over here, down on my cheeks, around my mouth. It was everywhere. There was parts here. Right now I still have a little bit of eczema. Oh, you can't really see it, but it's just here. But I can keep that under control. I do have creams, but sometimes it just flares up and I've learned to just deal with it. It flared up really bad. I didn't really think that it was a symptom during the time, but now I'm thinking maybe it was a symptom with my skin having like my body with all the sciencey stuff. I don't really know. But yeah, we went to the doctors. They couldn't give me pills for it because being pregnant, they couldn't just give me the pills, so I had to go into creams. The creams kind of worked, but not really. And this eczema was bad. Like, it looked like I had a disease. Like, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't even like look at myself, and I'd just stay in my bed all day because I felt so disgusting. I ended up actually going back to my mum and dad's house because I was kind of embarrassed to be around Jessie, which now I'm like not, because we've gone through so much already through this pregnancy. But at the start I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, my skin's breaking up. But like, I love Jessie, so that doesn't matter anymore. Like what I look like, I don't really care. Eczema definitely played out during my first trimester. The eczema died down a little bit towards my second trimester. However, it does pick up a little bit here and there. It's just something that's just going to happen. So I'm hoping that once baby's out, it will die down or it will go away. And if it doesn't, then I can get medication to cure it. Because if I'm on the medication, then I don't get it. So that is pretty much all my symptoms that I had. That's my first trimester. Into my second trimester. The second trimester lasts from 13 to 26 weeks. During this trimester, baby starts weighing the size of a chicken breast and will finish weighing 2 pounds, which is 1 kg. In New Zealand we use kg, not pounds. At week 16, hair begins to sprout. Week 22, eyelashes and eyebrows have grown. Baby's digestive system is fully formed. Baby starts to suck and swallow. Also begins urinating. Baby can start to smell, see and hear, and is beginning to open the eyes. This trimester I definitely felt that I had gained energy and I wasn't so tired anymore. I felt pretty normal during this trimester. I even went out to some parties. I could still do that at that time. I was still going to parties with Jesse and his friends. I wasn't drinking juice. One symptom, this isn't a symptom, I don't really know what this is, but the bump growth. In my first trimester, I honestly thought I had a belly. I'll insert some pictures, but I thought I had a belly and I didn't. The second trimester is when your belly kind of grows, like you can see it growing. It's kind of crazy. My bump came pretty much a bump. It went from having belly fat to hardness. That was one transition of my body, and my belly was beginning to form. I didn't really realize that every week baby was growing, and I kind of started to notice that once I looked over photos. I was like, oh my gosh, baby has grown. A baby bump feels weird. It feels like squishy and then it feels hard at the same time. The next symptom I had was stretch marks and cellulite. I already had a few faint stretch marks on my hips and I didn't have a problem with that until I started noticing that more stretch marks were forming. I was getting cellulite in my legs, and I have a really big thing over what I look like and what my body looks like. This has probably been the hardest, seeing my body change. I still can't really look at my body for too long because I just don't like looking at the stretch marks and stuff. I've gotten lots of stretch marks around my hip area, like so many, and kind of a little bit down the top of my legs, and then cellulite in my legs, and I just don't like it. It's just a personal thing for me. It's just hard to get in my brain, like anyways, it's not a big deal. The next symptom, I don't think this is a symptom. This is what happened during my second trimester. So I got my linear, I don't want to say it wrong, nigra, I don't know how to say it, but it's pretty much the faint line that you get from your pubic bone up to your belly button. Mine goes a little bit further up than my belly button. It's just a really faint line and it goes away after a few weeks. The next symptom that I got was diarrhea. It is a common symptom for pregnancy people. I just don't really know how to explain it. I just got it. And some foods just don't go well. Like, you think it will go well, it just doesn't. I can remember we went to Lone Star one night. We ate heaps and I came home and I just had to shit it all out. My body couldn't handle it. I guess that just happens when you're pregnant. The next thing that I got during my trimester was Braxton Hicks. They started when I was 27 weeks pregnant. I didn't know what it was. It was like a tightening feeling all around my tummy, and I was like, what the heck is this? What is this tight feeling going on in my belly? A Braxton Hicks, it's when your belly just tightens like this, and it's literally like rock solid. You think it's your baby, but it's all around your belly. Your baby's like underneath. I think it's when the uterus contracts. It's pre-pregnancy labor contractions. So for when you're in labor, your body's already been practicing those contractions. They don't hurt. Some people say they hurt. Mine don't hurt. It just feels weird, but it lasts for like a minute, 2 minutes. Not really that long. I think this isn't a symptom, but this is one of the events that happened during my second trimester. We got to hear the heartbeat for the first time. It was so amazing. I think I was 16 or 17, 18 weeks. It was such a cool experience. She had a really fast heartbeat. It's pretty crazy to hear. You just need to hear a heartbeat, like a baby's heartbeat. It was a really cool thing. That's when I kind of realized, like, oh my gosh, I'm having a baby. That's when it kind of clicked, when I heard her heartbeat. In our second trimester at 21 weeks, we found out her gender. We went to the anatomy place. Then we went to get our anatomy scan done, and the whole scan took 40 minutes for us. We had the most nicest man doing my scan. He was really cool. They pretty much check like all a baby's things. They check the head, the toes, the eyelashes, the eyes, the heartbeat. They definitely check the heartbeat, like they go into the heart, and I don't know how it works, but they check everything to do with the baby. And then at the end he said, oh, do you want to find out the gender? We didn't want to find out there, but we did want to find out. We just made an excuse that we were having a gender reveal. And then we were walking downtown. We were going to open it while we had something to eat. Jesse could not wait to find out what the gender was, so he just opened it, and I straight away knew that it was a girl because he really wanted a girl and he was just so happy. I did want a boy, but now I'm really excited that we're having a girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching my second video in the pregnancy series. Make sure to like, subscribe down below, and turn on post notifications. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, kind to one another, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.